Hello, welcome to Let's Talk About It. My name is Frances Oti, and today we're going to be discussing the election season. We all witnessed what happened at the Ekiti state elections, whether it was via media or in person. We all witnessed it. So today we're going to be discussing vote buying during the elections. Yes, we're going to be having the Ekiti state elections in view and also in preparation for the 2023 general elections. It's going to be so unpredictable. Yeah, it is. With me on the show is Barrister Stephen Oji. You're welcome, sir.
Hello.
Good to have you here.
Pleased to be here.
Yeah, so Barrister Oji is so many things. I'd like him to do the introduction himself. So please, could you tell us more about you?
Hi, I'm first of all a Nigerian, then a lawyer, a human rights activist, and a youth inclusion advocate.
Oh, it's good.
Pleased to be here.
Yeah, good to have you here. So, like I already said, we'll be discussing the Ekiti state elections. Yeah, I'm very aware that you were an active participant or observer during the elections. So, I would like to know, in what capacity did you participate at the Ekiti state governorship elections? Yeah, to be precise.
Oh yeah, so I work with Proactive Gender Initiatives.
Okay.
It's a CSO registered in Nigeria. We work on issues of elections, human rights violation, and gender-based violence. We are a member of Nigerian Civil Society Situation Room. So Nigerian Civil Society Situation Room deploys observers at every election happening in Nigeria. And yes, we were present in Ekiti and we observed the Ekiti elections under the Nigerian Civil Society Situation Room.
Oh, okay. So I'd like to know, how did you observe the elections? Were you there, present at the polling units, or how did you participate in the observation?
So the Situation Room has observers across Nigeria, but in Ekiti presently, yeah, we have observers across the 16 local governments of Ekiti State. We also rely on observers deployed by partner networks and organizations who are members of the Situation Room. So the Situation Room covered pretty much the whole of Ekiti State.
Okay.
During the elections. And I, for instance, was in the technical room. We received reports from observers on the field. I didn't go out in the field.
Okay, you didn't go out to the field. Okay.
We got reports from people in the field.
Okay, so you're pretty much aware of, things that happened.
Yes.
During the election. So what was your observation about the elections?
Firstly, I would like to commend INEC on a job well done for the first time. Not for the first time, but pretty much this time the election materials were deployed on time. Voters voted peacefully. It was concluded on time, result collation and all that. Logistics, everything went well. But like with every election comes new challenges. Not new, but they tend to assume different form at different elections. Same happened in the Ekiti election. And for the Ekiti elections, what I would say the dominant issue was vote buying. Vote buying.
Yes, it was all over the internet. We saw that.
It was a huge issue. And I must also commend the security operatives, because I think for the first time in elections, we saw security operatives arresting people who were allegedly perpetrating the crime of inducing voters at the polling units. So yeah, that was quite commendable about the election.
Okay. Well, I don't think, I think different parties have different things to say about that arrest.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think that's a topic for another day. Yes, because I actually saw a video where one of the candidates, the governorship candidates, said the security agencies were arresting his people and his people did not do anything. Yes. And I actually saw another video of a young man, a former youth leader, who said that he actually approached security agencies to address the vote buying that was happening at his polling unit, and they didn't do anything until the media came and cameras came on, and then they now tried to, you get. So that's story for another. I think different parties have different things to say about.
So I guess that means we need to watch out for the outcome of those arrests. We need to check the prosecution, how will the case end, because the issues we're talking about now is I did it, I didn't do it, and that's totally for the courts to decide.
Yeah, exactly.
We need to keep tracks on the cases that were identified, the people that were arrested, and see how it ends.
Okay, yeah, exactly. Well, I for one, I think like during these election seasons, I think communities need to look into community policing, right? To protect the electorate ballots, because I mean, we're like how many millions of Nigerians, and we have very few security, we don't have, that's, our security agencies are overwhelmed, let me just put it that way, and they may not be able to enter into every nook and cranny to protect the voters, to protect the electorate. So I think that Nigerians need to look into community policing. So I don't know what you think about community dogs, community policing. What do you think? What are the implications? You know,
community policing, that's quite a controversial issue in Nigeria right now. But I think it's a welcome development. In 2018, I had a tour of the American criminal justice system in relation to state policing.
Okay.
And we kind of learned how their criminal justice system works, how the state policing architecture is structured, you know. And it is a welcome development in Nigeria, because you see, Nigeria, we are a heterogeneous people. There are people of different races, different tribes, different religion, coupled together as Nigeria. So state policing will go a long way in addressing some of the security challenges we face as a nation. Why is it also important? It's important because when you talk about state policing, it means, I believe you're talking about people within a geographical area securing, being responsible for their security.
Yeah.
That's very welcome, because number one, they are the locals there.
Yeah.
They know their terrains. They know the people in their neighborhoods.
Exactly.
Do you understand? They understand their cultures. They understand the nuances and all that in that terrain. So they are in a better position to police crime in that area. That doesn't also mean that we do away with the federal police.
No.
For instance, you know, it now makes the federal police have less issues on their plate. They can deal with issues that have to do with our common goal, our common good. Sorry, and it's welcome. There is also arguments that, oh, when we adopt the state policing structure, that governors are going to abuse it and and all that. You know, we really don't know that. These are speculations.
Yeah.
Okay, it's even good that these kind of issues are identified before the journey starts. So as thinking men, what are we supposed to do? If this is a problem that could occur when we implement state policing, we only make solutions to ensure that those problems do not occur, since it has been identified before the inception of the state policing journey. That's my thought on state policing.
Yeah,
so it's really good.
And it is actually going to help a lot to fight against this vote buying during elections. It's going to, I think, it's going to also help a lot in preventing this thing of snatching ballot boxes and all of that.
And you know one other thing, I agree with you, because while there, I think there was a report we received from one of the observers, and he was like, they can't do, because people would advise, oh, take their money and vote who you want to vote. It was like, no, I can't do that, because the people sharing the money are in the same community as us. So if you take the money and don't do what they've asked you to do, they will come for you, because they know you, they know where you live, and they know everything.
Yeah.
And that could also, if you flip it, it could also relate to state policing, because you know everybody in the community, you know the people who are committing the crimes, you know the potential troublemakers, and you know how to get them and how to control
Them,
the
yeah.
whole situation.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for that. So I really hope that Nigerians listening, I hope will actually take this into serious consideration and see how we can work towards protecting our votes, our ballots during the upcoming 2023 elections. So that brings me to the next point. Nigerians have been saying we want to vote APC out of power. APC and PDP, we don't want them back. You know, people are always saying that on social media. But it's interesting to know that at the Ekiti state elections, the APC candidate actually won. Right? So being an observer there, will you say he won because the people, the Ekiti people, believe in his capacity? Right? Or would you say that the vote buying actually had a role to play in his victory?
Okay.
That's a tricky question, right?
Actually, the APC, they have supporters for and against them. PDP, they have supporters for and against them. ADC, they have supporters for and against them with the ABGAS. So that's the same for all the political parties. And APC won in Ekiti State because they scored more votes than every other political party.
Right.
You understand? But we would not deny that there was vote buying in Ekiti elections.
Yeah.
It was there, everybody saw it.
Yeah.
But the big problem is that we really don't know which party is sponsoring the vote buying. The money is not written on the names of the parties is not written on the money they are sharing. Some were not even sharing money, some were giving tallies. You vote, show, go and collect tally. You vote, go into a building. And do you understand? So we really don't know what party was sponsored. It could have been any of them.
Party.
Yeah, but the bottom line is that they scored the highest votes and they won the election.
But it's actually painful to see because we saw videos of some youth showcasing the cash that they got, you know, and all of that. So it's, I think it's painful and disheartening to know that right now everybody is screaming, go and get your PVC, go and get your PVC, and then people are actually getting their PVC only to sell their votes. So do you think that Nigerians are even ready for the 2023 general elections?
On that issue, it's disheartening. It's very disheartening that of all people, youths, the future of this country are the ones selling their votes. But on the other hand, it's also an indicator that something different is happening. And I'll tell you why. Rewind back to 1999. What was the price of a Nigerian vote? They'll give you tin tomato, 1 cup of rice, oil, wrapper, those kind of things. That was the price of 1 vote. Rewind to 2007, the price increased. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And now, fast forward to Ekiti elections, you know, the price increased further. They were selling 1 vote for up to 5,000 naira, 10,000 naira, and some people even said 20,000 naira. It shows you that Nigerians are beginning to understand the value of the vote. It shows you that the premium Nigerians have placed on their vote has increased from what it used to be. Before, they will collect oil and give you their vote. But right now, go and give them oil and see who will vote for you. It means they now understand the value of this thing. It is sad, but it is a journey. Democracy is not a finished journey. It's a work in progress. So, be that as it is right now, I'm imagining that 2023, they will tell you, for me to give you this 1 vote, maybe you have to pay me 100,000 naira. That's the value I've placed on my vote. For me to give you this vote, man, 1 million naira. If you can afford it as a politician, go ahead and pay 1 million naira for 1 vote. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I believe at that we'll get to the point that citizens will now say, man, for me to give you this 1 vote, you need to fix the road that leads to my community and I'll give you that 1 vote. I think if you look at it from the flip side, it talks about the premium people have placed on that vote. And from the beginning of our democracy up till now, we have seen that the premium has increased progressively.
But is it really increasing? Right? Is it really increasing? Because I feel like that 10,000 naira is almost commensurate to the tomatoes that they were giving. Yes, because what can 10,000 naira do for you? in this time in Nigeria, right? So I don't think it's increasing. Times have just changed, and I think the 10,000 naira, it's, I mean,
well, what I'm trying to
I just feel like we shouldn't even be selling our votes, right? We should be looking out for the kind of leaders that we want, right? We don't want you, right? We don't care how much you want to give us. We don't want you. We want someone who is actually coming to fix this or fix that for us, right? So keep your money. So that is why I still feel like state policing or community policing should come into play, because you said something about they give you a tally, you cast your votes, then you collect. So that means they're actually seeing who you voted for before. They have to make sure that you voted for their person before they give you the money, right? So I feel like people should, there should be security to check that there is no one, will I say, spying on people or cajoling people to vote for. Those things should not even be there.
Like I said, right, democracy is not a one-off something. It is work in progress. Do you understand? It is work in progress. Unfortunately, in our democratic journey, this is where we are presently.
So
we become doomed if we remain here. And from the spectrum I look at it, I still tell you, it informs me that Nigerians understand that their votes are valuable now.
Yeah, that
is the point I'm trying to make. They understand that their votes are valuable. If they don't think it's valuable, they will just give it to you without any consideration.
Yeah.
Because they know that this is actually important. These votes can actually make a difference. Therefore, I'm going to give it to you at this price.
So the question is, are Nigerians really ready? Are we really ready for this change that we're saying we want to see if we are selling our votes at a valuable price? Are we really ready for that change?
I believe we are ready for the change. But the question would be, are we willing to pay the price? For that change? It comes at a cost. Unfortunately, right now, people may think the cost is 10,000 naira for one vote, but that is very wrong. The 10,000 naira you sacrifice, you give out for your vote, it has implications at the development of your community. Once people start understanding this, the premium will change. The value will change. When you offer them money to vote for you, they will signal the security man, this guy is trying to bribe me, come and arrest him. I will testify. And that becomes the price of one vote at that point in time. I believe we will get there.
Yeah.
It is a work in progress.
Hopefully.
We will get there.
Okay, so generally speaking, what do you think needs to be improved ahead of from what you saw at the Ekiti State governorship elections? What do you think needs to be improved going forward on all levels, security, INEC, all of that?
Right now, our greatest challenge would be security.
Okay.
It would be security, because we need to be alive to come and vote. People are dying every day in Nigeria. People are dying every day. How can we vote if we are dead? We can't vote if we are dead. So I think the issue of security has to be addressed. And secondly, election logistics.
Okay.
Yeah, that also needs to be addressed. It wasn't a problem during the Ekiti elections because INEC had to pull in support vehicles from surrounding states and all that. So it wasn't. But I'm imagining what will happen during the general elections. We might still have that same problem. So that needs to be addressed. And from the study we had in Ekiti, there are not so many hard-to-reach areas there.
Okay.
So logistics wasn't really a problem, but I still see that as a problem
in the general elections.
And then secondly, would be how long it takes the beavers to accredit a voter. From the reports we got, it takes at least 3 minutes, an average of 3 minutes, to accredit a voter. If you do the maths, that would be about 20 persons in an hour. And for the general elections, that is still too poor. We need to increase on the verification time of the beavers, the security, election logistics, and most importantly, voter education. The people need to understand the value of one vote. It is more than 10,000 naira.
Yeah.
That one vote is the solution to the killings we have in the country. It can solve that problem, that one vote, and you're going to give it away for 10,000 naira? No. Most especially, voters need to understand the implications of this thing, voter education. It is very, very important, because I would see that is the lack of knowledge, the inability of voters to connect the development, the speed of development, to them selling their votes at the polling units. Once they're able to connect these dots, I think it will deter them from selling their votes. So yes, voter education.
Yeah, very important. Yeah. Okay, so is there anything you feel like we've not touched that you would like to talk about?
It's section 110. We spoke about this thing the last time. I feel strongly about that section 69 and section 110 of our constitution. This section talks about the recall of a legislature. What are the provisions? It says that for you to recall a legislature, you can do that if you have lost confidence in that legislature. And what is the procedure? Half of the registered voters in that legislature's constituency needs to sign a petition. Half needs to sign a petition. And after they sign that petition, INEC needs to verify the signatures on that petition before it now scales to the second stage, which is the referendum. Do we want this legislature to go or not? And guess what? Half of the registered voters in that constituent still needs to vote the person out. That section is problematic. Why is it problematic? I'll tell you. If you look at the election data we have from 1999 for legislature now, we've barely had up to 50% voter turnout for every legislative election. So why are you saying that people who didn't vote a person in should come and vote them out? It doesn't make sense in any way. And then talk about verifying signatures. What technology is going to do that? To verify over 20 million signatures. That is, if you ask me, it's one of the root problems we have in this country. Accountability. Nobody is holding the legislatures to account. If you're making it very strenuous for the people to control the legislature, then they don't have anything to answer to them. They only do whatever it is they like, because they know once I'm in there, you can't do nothing to me. So that section needs to be amended. Unfortunately, it wasn't included in the electoral amendment. What happens if we use the PVC to recall somebody? Why do we need to verify signatures? Why can't all that be done with our PVCs?
Yeah.
I don't know if we understand.
Yeah, like they make it so easy for us to vote them in.
Exactly.
And if they're not doing well, they make it difficult.
Yeah,
exactly.
To call them back, and not more difficult to call them back. It makes them know that we're actually accountable to these people, and if we don't do well, these guys are gonna get us.
Yeah.
And if you look at the chain, the wheel of government, right? The constitution derives its power from who? The people. The people empower the constitution. The constitution empowers the government. If you look at checks and balances, the legislature, they are the ones who check what the executive do. Oh, there is no water, there is no electricity, ease of doing business is bad, That is the executive. But how do you control that? The legislature. Who controls the legislature? The people. So it is important that the relationship between the people and the legislature should be as easy as coming out and entering a taxi. It should be that seamless. That is one way that we can solve the quagmire we have in Nigeria. The legislature should be totally accountable to the people. And once that happens, then they would hold the executive to account, knowing that if they don't do what they're supposed to do, the people will come for them. And that is how we return sovereignty back to the people with the power of one vote.
I would actually like us to talk more on this and enlighten people more about this, right? So probably that will be on another show. So I hope you'll be available to answer our call.
I feel so strongly about this. People need to. It's a scam they put in our constitution. Whoever put it there.
Okay, thank you very much for your time, Barrister Oji. It was a great pleasure having you here. Yeah, thank you guys for joining us on this show. I hope you had so much to take home with you, and we'll see you next time on Let's Talk About It. Bye.